Guys, welcome to my channel Hima Education Made Easy. In our previous videos, we have seen Python if else. So these are the conditions where we have seen equal, not equals, less than, greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Then we have went with some if else loop, if else conditions, and then we have made a nested if, and then we have used a pass statement. Now we'll be moving with Python while loops. Python has two primitive loops commands, that is, one is while loop, the next one is for loop. Okay, so while loop, with the while loop we can execute a set of statements as long as a condition is true. For example, here we'll go with I is equal to 5. Initially we'll go with I is equal to 1, while while loop we are going to use while I is less than 6, print I, and you go with an increment of I plus is equal to 1, which is nothing but, if you want to write in other terms, you can write it as I is equal to I plus 1. This is what you can write. So here this states that it will run until the condition, that is I is less than 6. That means until 6 it will run the loop. Okay, so here for every time the loop runs, it will get an increment of 1. Okay, so here if we run it, what output will we be able to get? See, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So 5 is less than 6, then it has printed. So here we are not going to have 6 because we are not including 6 in it. Okay, so in order to see what's happening, so here we'll be debugging it. For the purpose, so here we got a console, and we'll be getting an output. Okay, so here like this, initially it went through 1 2. For that we need to go with this dot, and then if we debug it again, then we'll be able to see how it's looping through. So now we'll be going with the while loop. Okay, and then we'll be moving toward while loop requires a relevant variable to be ready. In this example, we need to define an index number variable, that is I, which we set to be 1. So initially we have given a value of I is equal to 0. Normally if we go with index values, then we'll start with 0, so that if we run it, I will be able to see that is 0 is also included. Generally we use initial value as 0, but as of now we didn't used in first example. Okay, with the break statement we can stop the loop even if while condition is true. Okay, so here we are having this condition. Initially we have taken I is equal to 0, then we have applied an while condition, that is I is equal I less than or less than 6, and then we have printed. So after that so here I don't want, if something, so here if I is equal to 4, I don't want to have this thing, so here I'll break it, and then I'll go with the condition, that is I is equal to I plus 1. In order, simply in short, I'll write I plus is equal to 1, and then I'll run it. You'll be able to see at the point 4, whenever if the condition becomes true at that particular condition, we can break it. Okay, similarly we can have a continuous statement. With the continuous statement, we can stop the current iteration and continue the next iteration. That means whenever I is equal to 4, it won't print 4, and then it will continue after 4. Okay, so here instead of break, we'll be having a continue, and then if we run it, we'll be able to see at 4 it's getting continued. Continuous iterations are going to happen over here. Okay, until and unless I will stop this iteration. Okay, after after is equal to 4, it will start to continue. Okay, so here next we will be going with so here, in order to understand, you need to see the starting outputs. So for that, we will be able to see that 0 1 2 3 4. After that, it's already is equal to 4, it's not going to the next thing, and continuously it's looping over there only, 4 and 4 4 4 like that. Then we'll be having else statement. With else statement, we can run a block of code once when the condition no longer is true. Okay, so here we are going to remove this if condition, and then we are going to enter it, and then we are going to give the initial condition, that is the I plus is equal to 1, and then I will be going with else statement. After a while, else, next final statement we need to have, right? Print of I is no longer less than 6. This is what I want to print after the iterations completed, so that I is no longer less than 6. Okay, so here until it is less than 6, it will get the loop will run. Once the loop is completed, then it will go for an else condition, and then it will print this thing. Okay, next we'll be moving with for loop. Okay, while we have completed, so a for loop is used for iterating over a sequence, that is either a list, a tuple, or a dictionary, or a set, or a string. So in order to use this for loop, you need to have an array of elements, that is either list, tuple, or these things. This is less like for keyword in other programming languages, and work more like an iterator methods as found in other object-oriented programming languages. With the for loop, we can execute a set of statements once for each time in a list, or we can simply say it as an array. Okay, so in order to execute this for loop, we need to have an array of elements. Either it might be of list, tuple, set, or anything, but it should be an array. Okay, so here we'll be going with fruit. So here I'm going to define fruits as a list of elements, or simply a 1D array, we can say it as. So here I'm going to define apple, and then I'm going to have banana, and then I'm going to take strawberry. Okay, these are the things I have taken. So here, in order to run for loop for a element, for here I'll take I in fruits, print of I. Okay, so if I run it, so here I'll be getting apple, banana, and strawberry. What's happening over here is, so for I, so here I'll go with I as 1. For I in fruits, I'll print apple. First element I'm going to print apple. Then for I is equal to 2, I'm going to print banana. For I is equal to 3, I'm going to strawberry. So here don't confuse with index number. So here I'm going to name it as an element. Okay, so for element, first element in fruits, I'm going to take it. So in order to avoid confusion, I'll be going with x over here, and here also I'll be going with x. Okay, so here index number of apple will be of 0. So for first element in fruits, which is having index number 0, I'm going to print apple first. Then which is second element, which is having index number of 1, I'm going with the banana, and then similarly of strawberry. The for loop does not require an index variable to set beforehand. So looping through a string, even strings are iterable objects. They contain a sequence of characters. Okay, so here even let me say fruits, sorry, fruits of 0. Okay, so here if I run it, I'll be able to see APPLE. This is what you will be able to see. So here for every letter in apple, that is fruits of 0, which is index number I have taken over here. Here 0, fruits of 0 is nothing but apple. For every letter in apple, the loop will continue. Similarly, if you want to see for strawberry, so here I need to give index number of 2, and then I need to run it so that I will be able to see looping of strawberry, right? This is how it will work. So here we'll be having a break statement. With the break statement, we can stop the loop before it has looped through all the items, similar to for loop. Okay, so here already we are having this one. So I am going to have, so here I am going to define a condition, that is x is equal to banana. I want to stop the iteration over there. So here I am using a thing called break. Then I'm going to run it. Then so here, sorry, I have used the index numbers. In order to do that, I need to delete this thing, and I'm going to run it. So that apple and banana, so at banana it got breakdown, right? So in order to exit the loop, okay, we are going to use this thing. Okay, with exit the loop with x in banana, but this time the break comes before the print. That means, so here I'm going to replace this print x element, and I'm going to use it in next. Okay, so you need to observe the difference between these two. So here I'll be able to see only apple, right? So if you use print x before the break statement, then you will be included with the last element. That is whatever the condition you state in if, that condition will be included in will not be included in it. Once you print the statement after the break, then you will be left with only the prior elements, not the element which you are going to consider. Okay, and then we'll be having a continuous statement. With continuous statement, we can stop the current iteration for loop and continue with the next. Okay, this is what the same thing happens. Continue I'm going to use, and I'm going to run it. So I'll be having apple and strawberry only. So here the main thing, if x is equal to banana, at that specified condition I am not going to take anything. So and also here I'm having a range function. So to loop through a set of codes of a specified number of times, we can use a range function. A range function returns a sequence of numbers starting from 0 by default and increment by 1. Okay, and ends at a specified number, whatever you specify. Okay, so here we'll see how to use a range. Okay, for x in range of 10, I want to print of x. Okay, so here now we'll be able to understand what I'm going to say, right? So here in range it will start with 0, and with an increment of 1 it will print 10 elements. This is what the meaning is. Range of 10 is not value of 0 to 10, but these are the values from 0 to 9. So total, if you count from 0 to 9, 0 as 1, you will be getting total 10 elements. The range of function defaults to 0 as starting value. However, it is possible to specify the starting value by adding parameter. So in range, if you want to have a starting value instead of 0, then here I can have 2. It has to start from 2 and it has to end to 10, but so here it will not include 10 as usual. Okay, so here if we run it, we'll be able to see it starts from 0, sorry, it starts from 2 and ends with 9. Okay, so and range function defaults to increment the sequence by 1. However, it is possible to specify the increment value by adding a third parameter. Okay, so here we can have a third parameter. So I want to increment everything with the 2, so gap should be of 2. So here I'm going with it, then I'll be able to see it's starting from 2 by taking 2 difference between two elements. Okay, so here if I take 3, I'll be able to see the difference between two consecutive elements be 3. 2 difference of 3, it's 5, difference of 3, it's of 8. Okay, this is how this one works. Now we'll be going in else in for loop. Okay, we are going to use else statement in for loop. The else keyword in a for loop specifies a block of code to be executed when loop is finished. Okay, so here I'm having this one, and finally else print of loop finished. This is what the output I want. Okay, so once the loop is completed, then I will be going with this one. The else block will not be executed if the loop is stopped by a break statement. This is what we need to remember. So here before this thing I'm going to define something, that is if condition, if x is equal to 5. So as we have got an element 5 over here, if x is equal to 5, then break it. This is what I'll be using in order to break the loop. So here I'll be left with only 2. I'm not going with the else statement because I have used a break. So nested loop, a nested loop is a loop inside a loop. The inner loop will be executed one time for each iteration of the outer loop. Okay, so here we'll take another array of elements. So here I'm going to use adg or color array I'm going to use as, so here indentation error. Okay, color are red, green, yellow. These are the colors I have used. Then I'm going to use one more array, fruits, which are red color is apple, then green color is lemon, then sorry, green color, not green, yellow color is lemon, green color is something. Will take something like something will take. Okay, so here, in order to loop through everything, so here I'm going for X in colors, again for Y in fruits. I want to print X comma Y. So here we need to understand that X is nothing but each element. That's what you need to remember, for each element in X, for each element in Y. This is what the thing is. Okay, if we run it, we'll be able to see initially for X, that is for red in colors, for Y in fruits. So for red in colors, it will run throughout the fruits. So apple, lemon, this one. Next it will go to for loop for a green in yellow. For green in colors, it will go with apple, lemon, and then okay, so on like this. We'll be having these loops. Pass statement for loops cannot be empty. For loops cannot be empty, but for some reason have a for loop with no content put in the pass statement to avoid getting an error. Okay, similarly how we have came over if loop, if statements, similarly here we can use pass in this for loop also. Okay, so here I don't want to print anything. Okay, so after this if I run it, I'll be getting an error, right? Indentation error, something blah blah you will be getting. But in order to avoid these errors, just simply you need to have a pass statement. Okay, so if we run it, the loop will not be executed. Okay, so with this we'll be winding up the session, and in next class we'll be writing a calculator program, so that how we'll be able to write calculator program only by using if, else, elif, and the small loops. Okay, with this we'll be winding up the video. If you like the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.